How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel with some more Arsenal transfer news, updates, discussions and opinions. Sorry for no video yesterday, I had to take a day off. Anyways, today we are back with some more Arsenal transfer news, transfer updates. It's all over the place pretty much, the window hasn't opened yet. In a way, it's a very slow window at the moment because last season it was completely different. Last summer it was linked with that, bids flying in, flying up, flying down. But during the year, obviously, the FFP and sustainability rules, everything started to take every single team by the scruff of its neck, and now it's kind of slow. It's more speculation, more interest than actual action. Obviously, everyone's very reluctant to do anything before the Euros, Copa America, and other friendlies. Of course, there's qualifiers for, I think there's also qualifiers for AFCON and everything. It's all over the place in a way. So everyone's kind of trying to play it patient, maybe see who gets injured or who doesn't get injured during Euros, maybe see the form, how players look. So it will be very interesting to see how this transfer market develops, especially since the transfer market officially opens the same day Euros begin, June 14th. So it will be very interesting to see what's going to happen with that, how it's going to go. But for Arsenal, it's business as usual, pretty much, linked with everyone, signing no one so far. But of course, there are some more rumors, some more speculations. So like, comment, subscribe, let me know down in comments what you think, and let's get into it. And we're kicking things off with Martin Odegaard, who has won Arsenal's Player of the Season, as voted by supporters. Not a long time ago on this morning, but Arsenal's Player of the Season, as voted by supporters, was revealed to be Martin Odegaard. He actually, to be honest, of all the players we had, Saliba was third, Rice was second, or the other way around. I might be mixing these up. But basically, yeah, they'll say that, there says a paragraph below. Declan Rice was second and Saliba was third. So no Bukayo Saka, to be honest, in my opinion, rightly so. Yes, he had good GA and all that stuff, but performances left quite a bit more to desire. It was, in a way, performance-wise, quite average season for Bukayo, in my opinion. Not to even mention Martinelli and others. So Martin Odegaard definitely hit the level, especially in the second part of the season, where he was most of the time unplayable. Obviously, in the most important games, like Bayern and Porto, it was not the best, I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. Odegaard won Player of the Season for Arsenal, was voted by supporters, and congrats him on that. And, of course, as I said, June 14th, Euros begin. It's in 6 days. So basically, where our players are, there are 11 players from Arsenal that are participating in Euros, or specifically, we are not talking about Copa America and all that stuff, where there's also Martinelli and there's also Gabriel. But here, Europe, Havertz is playing for Germany, Tierney is playing for Scotland. First game of the day, 8 p.m. Two Arsenal players play against each other, the opening game, of course. Raya for Spain, of course. Italy, they have Jorginho. Poland has Kivior, which will be interesting to see how he plays. England has Ramsdale, which most likely won't play. He's behind Pickford, and unless Pickford gets injured, not sure if he's gonna see the pitch ever. Of course, Rice and Saka is traveling with England as well in the squad. Zinchenko is playing for Ukraine. He's going to be the captain of Ukraine, mind you, if I'm not mistaken. So it will be very interesting to see how that develops. If he has good Euros, we actually could manage to sell him properly. I think he also is going to play in the midfield specifically for Ukraine, as he usually does. And that will be very interesting to see how he looks specifically in midfield, because for Arsenal he doesn't play there. He plays as a left back who inverts into midfield, and we go from there. He isn't an out-and-out midfielder, which is in a way also very confusing why Arteta never has him used it like that. Belgium with Trossard, Austria, of course, with Saliba. Quite a bit of our players, and it's been quite some time since we had this. We have quite a bit of players who are playing in international teams, international squads, in the big competitions. And remember, there was a time where no Arsenal player was in England squad even. Now we have a 3. Most likely will be 2 by the end of this window. Unless we sign someone who is an England international, let's say Eze or something like that. So it will be very interesting to see how things develop, how everything goes. Definitely we will have to follow a bit more deeply, of course, with Arsenal players. Best of luck to them, and best of luck to the team who wins, because I did my predictions on Euros. I've gotten a bit of a backlash. People think that I said that France is going to win it. People say that England, many people in the comments and in other places told me that I'm dumb basically by this, and they think that England is gonna win it. Especially, I already said it from the beginning, it's not gonna happen. And based on what team England has, especially looking at that defense, and that midfield is also shaky. Yeah, let's be real, it's not coming home. Anyhow, now we are getting into business type of deals, into transfers, and we're kicking things off with Jadel Hato, which completely pretty much has shut down a chance from him moving away from Ajax in this summer window, saying I haven't finished learning. He wants to stay at Ajax for one more season, develop, grow, get extra experience and improve his game, and then next summer he is going into the market, and that is a bit disappointing for Arsenal in a way, because if we think about this, if Arsenal signed Hato, he would be with the squad. So there's no chance that, for example, we sign Hato and loan him back out to Ajax for this season. Although that actually would be kind of a smart move, because I can guarantee you that next summer, if Hato does everything according to plan, he doesn't get injured and he has a well of a season, many teams will be going in for him, because there are very few left backs who are very decent in the world football. They're very, literally you can count them on five fingers on one hand, and he's one of the up and coming potential big ones. So definitely that will be a massive issue for Arsenal if we are trying to go for him next summer, mostly because, let's be real, United need a left back. Who else is there? To be honest, I'm saying only United because that's the first thing that pops in mind. Luke Shaw and Malacia, who I haven't heard about anything since he signed for United. It's pretty much one of the main teams that need a left back, and they will do anything in their power to get him, especially if they show the improvements this season and do something in the league, of course. So that will be a very interesting one how this develops. But for now, Hato has shut down any chance of moving this summer, and it comes like a bit of a blow to Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie. Arsenal unwilling to meet release clause of one of the best strikers in the world, and obviously here we are talking about Osimhen. It has been a quite weird saga over quite some time, to be honest. It's not the first time it is with this, but Arsenal don't want to go for him. Basically, mostly because, as you can see on the bottom part of the article, today he has 113 million pound release clauses that no club seems to be getting close to, and that, to be honest, nobody will until something changes, because if to spend 113 million, you have to be an exceptional player, and I'm sorry, he just isn't that. Injuries, by looks of stats, he has good sides, but there are quite a bit of bad sides as well, and that is the big part, especially 113 million release clause. It's similar like Portuguese clubs. They have players on insane release clause, like 120 million, 100 million and stuff like that, and it feels like it's specifically designed for, it's a conspiracy theory in a way. It's specifically designed to Premier League teams because they tend to sign those players like Enzo and stuff like that. 105, 110, 115 million, you sign players for that, or basically so inflated prices that no other club in the world would pay that for them, except Premier League. Because most of the time it is that way, isn't it? Because Arsenal paid 50 for Partey, paid his release clauses, right? But overall, that's a thing in La Liga. Every single player has a release clauses. Some have lower, some have higher, but it is what it is. But yeah, the release clauses are very steep, and I don't think any team in the world are going to pay that. For him to be a 113 million player, he cannot get injured. He needs to be available for like 95% of season minimum. He needs to bag 20-25 goals consistently, and he needs to be one of the best players in the team, especially the release clauses, plus he comes with a huge wage. And if you can't deliver, it's just not worth it. But at the end of the day, market is very inflated, we have to remember that. There are very slim pickings in certain positions, in world-class, let's just say world-class level strikers, certain defenders, certain positions. There are very slim pickings, and teams can ask for those players who have the advantages, who are in the pole position in this instance, quite a bit of money. Definitely quite a bit of money, because sooner rather than later, if there is a product they can provide, that's in this instance player, someone will come out and pay the price they're asking. Because Napoli don't need to sell, let's be real. Napoli, Conte will sign Lukaku only if Osimhen leaves, and if Osimhen doesn't leave, he will stay, and they will not sign Lukaku. It's simple as that. And Arsenal have pulled out, PSG have pulled out, Chelsea are not going for him. So Saudi maybe, but it also seems unlikely. So at the end of the day, it looks like Osimhen might actually stay at Napoli for another season at least. This is now a weird one. Arsenal make contact with Bologna to sign Joshua Zirkzee. Now, it was a very 50-50 thing when this got linked with Arsenal. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. He's similar like, in a way like Højlund didn't set the world on fire that season when he was linked, but he went for big money. Same goes for Zirkzee. At the same time, Thiago Motta has been linked with Zirkzee, the Juventus new manager. They also want to see him there, but according to certain reports, I'm not sure how trustworthy CBR football is, because I don't use them that much when I read articles, but this time I'm referencing them to. Arsenal apparently have opened fresh talks to sign Bologna center forward just as Zirkzee this summer, according to TBR Football. Now, the thing about Zirkzee is he's still young, obviously, and here it is. Italian club would demand around 50 million for him. 50 million. It's a very, very, very steep one. I'm not gonna lie. It's the same, similar like signing Benjamin Šeško. For me, Šeško is a better player than Zirkzee, at least from what I've seen. Because I must admit, I've seen Šeško much more than Zirkzee, so I cannot preach like a gospel. It's just my opinion. But yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't be too excited if we signed either of them, to be honest. But if we sign them, I'm gonna back them. Not gonna lie. But yeah, the biggest thing about this is that he has 50 million in valuation from Bologna. And Bologna did quite exceptionally well this season under Thiago Motta, playing some weird random formations at times, like 2-7-2 and stuff like that. They're gonna play in Europe, and yeah, it will be a very tall order, because they will gonna get picked apart for many players, because it's similar situation like Girona. The first time ever they're gonna be in Champions League. They have lots of good, incredible players, and slowly but steadily the rumors in Spain and with Premier League are starting to come out that many of those players might be leaving, because Savio is to Man City. Alex Garcia has been linked with by Leverkusen. Obviously, Arsenal have been linked with Tsigankov. Also, they were left for the Garcia, I think it was the left back. They will get picked apart. I'm surprised nobody has gone in for Dovbyk just yet. For me, I would go for... basically, for me, I've almost every single transfer video say my striker list, how I would like to get them. Like, say, Isak first, Šeško second, Osman third, and stuff like that. And now it's completely changed, because the more I read about these things, the more I deep into players' stats, specifically strikers, it definitely changes, and I'm now getting more consistent view of the players. Well, how Zirkzee, for example, would fit in Arsenal, how other players. So for me, Isak is number one. Second one at the moment is Gyökeres, even though he's injured at the moment, had a knee surgery. Then comes Tony. If you know, you know. Then comes Šeško, and then comes Osimhen, Zirkzee, and the rest of them. With Zirkzee, the fact that he's still young is still a bit of a gamble, so it will be interesting to see how this develops. But if Arsenal are reopening talks with Zirkzee, it actually could mean that arguably they don't feel confident enough, and that Šeško will take Arsenal's offer and he will decide to play for them. Obviously, no matter what, you have to have a plan B, C, and stuff like that. But if we are starting to contact Zirkzee as well, I think Edu and Arteta are looking at this and thinking he's taking way too long. I'm speaking about Šeško now, to decide his future. And because Šeško has 3 Premier League teams interested in him. Chelsea, United? I don't remember. I think United was Chelsea, Arsenal, and someone else. But RB Leipzig at the same time have proposed him a much better deal, promising him one of the main roles and everything. So yeah, Arsenal, I think in this instance, this article is more about Arsenal exploring their options, because if they cannot sign Šeško, which seems like it's their main target, but you never know, they definitely are exploring different options, and Zirkzee being one of them. I'm surprised still that we are not going for Tony. I'm very surprised. He got picked for Euros, which is also very weird, because England has Kane now, Watkins, and Tony for Euros. Unless someone gets injured of them 3, the third one is never going to play. In this instance, it would be Tony, to be honest. So it will be very interesting to see how things develop. But yeah, I actually wouldn't mind Tony. But if we can get like Isak or Gyökeres, definitely would go for them. But for now, I think Arsenal, with this article specifically, are just exploring their options. This is an interesting one. Arsenal are in for Federico Chiesa. Remember Chiesa? We wanted him also some time ago. But according to Toto, Juve reports suggest that Arsenal are among the teams keen to sign Juventus attacker Federico Chiesa. Now, Chiesa has had some injury issues over the years, but no shadow of a doubt there is a good and incredible, to be honest, player in there. Especially I remember that how Italy's attack dropped when he got injured and couldn't play for Italy. And it will be very interesting to see where he moves, if he moves, because it looks like Chelsea and Newcastle are interested as well. He can play left wing, he can play right wing, mind you, so that definitely would cover either position if something goes wrong for Arsenal. And if we all know we need a backup for Bukayo Saka, it's been rumored that Chiesa would potentially be available for 34 to 36 million, which in this instance for Chiesa seems like a massive bargain for me. And despite the injuries and everything, 34 million, there is an argument to be made that no matter what, if we sign him, and even if he's injury prone at times, or if he gets injured, he's still better than Reece Nelson. There's no shadow about that, who by the way also about 25 million is on the market according to reports. He can play left wing. There's Martinelli and Trossard. Trossard, for example, starts, Martinelli gets injured because he tends to do that recently. His form has dropped massively as well. So Federico Chiesa at Arsenal, if definitely we are open, let's check this now live in the video. I usually don't do this, but during videos, mostly during live streams. But let's gonna do this live. His value is about 35 million euros, which would be about 30 million pounds. So if we can get him for 32 to 35 million pounds, I definitely wouldn't be against that. Definitely as a backup, not a starter, as a backup, obviously. Yes, as you can see, he has quite a bit of injury record. The knees he has are weak. I don't know as straw basically, because as you can see, muscle fatigue, yeah, but he has knee problem. These unknown injuries also might be connected to the knee, but he has usually the muscle fatigue is also a big issue for him. So as you can see, last season he missed 11 games with 5 injuries. Season before that, he missed 16 games with 7 injuries. Now, he missed 21-22 season a year because had a massive surgery, unfortunately. So it is what it is. You cannot take that too much for granted. But this season, he didn't do bad. 33 games, 9 goals, 3 assists. If he comes off the bench for Arsenal, for example, even starts all the game here or there, if in about 25-30 games, he can get about 10 goals, 5 assists, definitely you wouldn't be against that. Definitely would increase our production, our attack, because there's a good player in Chiesa. No shadow of a doubt that. Whether Arsenal and Arteta and Edu see him deemed good enough for us, that is a whole different story, but I wouldn't be against that. And the last one for today is Arsenal transfer news. Gunners make 34 million offer for Barcelona attacker. We are back again with Raphinha. Obviously, we wanted to sign him when Leeds were selling him. We were in a pole position to sign him. Then Chelsea tried to swoop in, and then again from out of nowhere Barcelona came in and he signed for Barcelona. Now at times he's been quite great for Barcelona, but overall I definitely would suggest that his best stuff at Barcelona, his performances overall have been underwhelming. That's the word I'm looking for. It has been underwhelming. However, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs were pipped to the post by Barcelona. That was when he signed. Barcelona played 49.4 million. Which, see, at that time when he was in his peak, he was just tearing everyone apart. Seems like nothing value, 50 million. Now you have to pay 50 million to sign a mediocre player, genuinely. Mediocre attacker, mediocre winger. We are debating now signing 50 million for Zirkzee, but we don't want to pay 50 million for Raphinha because there's definitely a good player in there. Whether Arteta can unlock that's a whole different story. It all remains to be seen, but here it is. From 87 appearances for La Blaugrana, Raphinha contributed 20 goals, 25 assists. He won a Super Cup, he won La Liga, and to be honest, 45 goals out of 87 games for him seems a bit less, but since he plays for Barcelona, it's quite a bit. And there, for example, they have the youngster Yamal at the moment, who is in the pecking order much in front of him. So that definitely would be an option for Arsenal. And this is the big one. The Gunners reportedly lodged an offer of 34 million, but Barcelona are hoping to recoup in excess of 50 million. Basically, they want to get the same bag they paid for him. Let's just say that. Because let's be real, Barcelona is also in financial issues. Chelsea boss is keen on to being able to Stamford Bridge though, while Saudi Pro League giants Al Nassr together with Ronaldo, he might be also in the mix considered. But would he be a good signing? I think yes, because he's Premier League proven. Not sure how we would feel about being a backup for Bukayo Saka at the end of the day, or rotating with Bukayo Saka, but the quality he has definitely would open up Bukayo Saka quite massively. Yes, in a way, it feels like it's going back again, and it feels like Arteta is not a big fan of going for players who have turned them down. It feels like Raphinha turned them down, and I'm not sure it's gonna happen. But signing Raphinha, there's no shadow of a doubt he's better than Reece Nelson, to be honest. For better than Reece Nelson, almost every winger Arsenal are linked with is. Tsegankov, Raphinha, who else is there? At some point it was Bakayoko from PSV and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Raphinha to Arsenal, the 50 million is the one that really makes it iffy. Let's just say if it was 40 million, I would be 100% for. But 50 million is starting to bench the mark where he will need to deliver on consistent basis, and since he's not a consistent starter for us, it would be a very interesting one. Because Chelsea, for example, need him more than we do, because Madueke and Sterling, no chance in hell they're better than him. Spurs as well. I would take Raphinha over Kulusevski. Sorry, not sorry. So and Brennan Johnson, by the way. So it will be interesting to see how this develops, because Raphinha last season didn't have the worst season, if you ask me. In 28 games, he had 15 points, so he gets more than half a point per game. He didn't start all the games, mind you. Barcelona signed him, so it's very, very, very weird. In Champions League, 7 games, 7 points. That is a big one. Big one, big one, big one, big one, big one. In Copa del Rey, 1 game, 1 goal. It's so weird to look at all of this, because if you look at him, he didn't play. He had injuries, okay, but most of the times when he plays, he gets the best results when he starts the game. See, because when he gets subbed on in, let's just say 66, 64, but he plays, he gets something out of them when he starts. When he gets on as a sub, he hasn't had the same impact. I will tell you that much. But at the same time, playing for Arsenal, definitely, if you just say Bukayo Saka needs to get subbed off, or you need an extra attacking option like that, who you can sub on, definitely wouldn't go unnoticed. And I think Raphinha definitely could put in some extra spark into Arsenal's attack, because he, for me, is in a way, people could say similar, also left-footed, but he's a different profile type of player than Bukayo Saka. Something Bukayo Saka needs to do is to be more tricky, more skillful, use his pace more, and take on his defenders more, which Raphinha absolutely loves to do, which would be quite excellent. We saw that when he played for Leeds. That was just amazing to watch Leeds play, then especially Raphinha. So if he can go back to that, and he could actually do properly for Arsenal, actually it would be quite great. I'm not gonna lie, he has good long shot on him, which I absolutely love, and we need some good long shooters. We don't have those pretty much whatsoever in the team. But yeah, anyhow, those are the transfer rumors for you today. Let me know down in comments what you think about Raphinha, Zirkzee, who else we talked about? Quite a bit of players, to be honest. So how do you feel about Euros? Who you think is gonna win? Let me know that down in comments as well. It's Saturday. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your day. Saturday. It's a good weather outside, at least for me. Hope you're having one as well. Go outside, chill, relax before another work day begins. Peace.